I'm Sheila Veers, and today we're talking about foods you should never eat if you want to lose weight. Every day, it feels like there's a new list of the top 10 foods that you should avoid if you want to lose weight. It's so confusing because everyone will tell you something different, and it's so sensationalized, which makes most people so afraid because they feel like they don't know what to do and what to eat and how to do it right. Sometimes even the same food will be on the good food list one day and on the bad food list the next. So let's set the record straight and set you up for success so you know exactly what foods to eat. It seems like the list of foods to avoid grows longer and changes every day, right? Sugar, coffee, wine, grains, fruit, meat, dairy, eggs, and even certain vegetables. I'm pretty sure that if you looked long enough and hard enough, you would find that pretty much every food that you could ever eat has at one time been on the bad food list, right? And what they say you should be eating literally changes by the day. So what foods should you never eat if you do want to lose weight? The answer may be very different than what you're used to hearing. And that is to stop worrying about what they say and to instead focus on what feels best to you. Let's be really honest with each other right now. The truth is that you're probably not going to eliminate sugar, dairy, grains, or any other food completely from your diet or your food lifestyle for the rest of your life, unless you have some sort of illness that causes you to have to do so, right? And neither am I. So let's stop fooling ourselves into thinking that this is necessary or even possible for long-term sustainable weight loss results. The more that we tell ourselves that we can't have something and we try to restrict it from our diet, the more that it makes us want to rebel. And that's what ends up leading to this yo-yo dieting sort of a mindset where you're either on the diet and you're being very, very strict, or you're flying way off the wagon. I am the first to admit that I love food. And yes, there are certain foods that really have no nutritional value. We simply eat them because they taste good. I mean, no one ever really needs a piece of cake or truffles or a glass of wine or anything like that, right? So instead of trying to go cold turkey and to cut these foods out that we enjoy, the solution is to build a better relationship with these foods and a healthy, sustainable food lifestyle as a whole. In the grand scheme of things, if you're eating mostly whole foods, then to have these other foods that really don't serve any nutritional purpose once in a while is not that big of a deal. And this is where we can be so silly because the ultimate goal is to be able to not only lose the weight, but then to be able to keep it off for the long term, right? So if we go really hardcore and we restrict and we cut things out of our diet, then probably what's going to happen is eventually we're going to rebel. And we know this about ourselves, yet we continue to try to do the same thing over and over again because we're trying to follow these good food and bad food lists. Moderation is the name of the game. Extreme programs or restriction and deprivation is not a long-term solution. This is the big mindset shift. Food is not the enemy. And in fact, these foods that are on these bad food lists are actually not what's holding us apart from our weight loss goals and ultimately rocking our dream body. It's our relationship with those foods. It's the shame that we feel around eating them that causes us to get into this mode where we just fly farther and farther off the wagon. In my Rock Your Dream Body programs, I teach my clients to set up this sort of an 80-20 principle when it comes to food. So essentially they're eating 80% of their foods as whole, nutritious, nutrient-dense, mineral-dense foods, but then the other 20% is those foods that they don't sweat. Like they literally let themselves to eat those foods just purely for the enjoyment of it. If you think about it, food is supposed to be pleasurable. That's why we have taste buds. I mean, if food was not pleasurable, then we wouldn't eat it and humankind would no longer go on, right? But most times what happens is that we shame ourselves for receiving pleasure from food, Or we block that pleasure completely because we're too busy multitasking and doing other things while we eat. And then what happens when we block that pleasure is that then we end up going back for seconds or thirds. I personally can remember many times where I've eaten an entire meal while watching TV, checking email, or doing a wide range of other things, and then I look down at my plate and realize I've eaten the entire meal and I don't even remember eating any of it. When you tune in and you allow yourself to receive pleasure from any meal that you eat, then you're going to be far more likely to be satisfied by smaller portions. And you'll find that you end up eating a lot less because your body is able to fully receive that pleasure and to turn on the digestive process. And that's another thing that I teach in my Rock Your Dream Body programs is the science behind how allowing yourself to really tune in as you eat and really receive the meal fully, that sets your body up for that long-term success, and it benefits in so many different ways, from digestion to metabolism and everything else. So just to drive this point home, I want to make sure that you hear me when I say that the long-term approach for weight loss sustainability is not to go extreme, balls to the wall, and trying to cut everything out just so that you can get to that number on the scale or into those skinny jeans as fast as possible. I don't want you to be afraid of food. I want you to build a healthy relationship with all food and to know that it's not the food itself that is detrimental to our health, it's our behaviors around food. Tune into your own body and really pay attention to what foods help you to feel your best, and then fill your plate with those foods. Then recognize what other foods you do really enjoy and that you like to eat purely for pleasure, and include those in moderation, meaning in amounts that allow you to still feel like you're nourishing your body and making progress to your goals, but also feeling very satisfied by what you get to eat. And what you'll find is that this sort of a lifestyle and this sort of a relationship with food, meaning all food, even these foods that you previously may have had on that bad food list, it frees you up to not only enjoy your life fully, but also to stop worrying so much about food. Like, when you think about it, the whole point of being healthy or achieving your weight loss goals or rocking your dream body, by whatever definition that means to you, ultimately, you want those things so that you can go out and enjoy your life. You don't want to be obsessed with good food and bad food lists for the rest of your life, right? So let's take that pressure off. Let's free you up so that you can truly enjoy your life and whatever it is that you're eating, knowing that you are making progress towards your goals, but you're doing it in a very nourishment-based way, not through extreme restriction or deprivation. When my clients really get this, it's like their world opens up. They're no longer obsessed with food. They're suddenly free to be able to enjoy it in ways that allow them to feel really good in their body and in their life as a whole. So I hope that these tips really open your eyes to this whole new way of living, where you're not focused on being on the diet or off, but you're really in this nourishment-based mindset. And it allows you to really break free from yo-yo dieting so that you can not only feel amazing in your skin and get the results, but also feel like you can put your attention on the things that really matter to you most in life. And so if all of this resonates with you and you would love to take this further, definitely reach out to me through my website at sheilaveers.com/coaching so we can set up a time to talk more about your unique goals, preferences, and how we can get you to not only rock your dream body, but also your dream life. And if you like this video, make sure to like it and share it with a friend that you know would benefit too.